morning. I hope everyone had a lovely week and a wonderful weekend. I hope you all enjoyed a visit from our friend Jamie Gingerbread from up at the North Pole. I personally think that she's a wonderful lass. I hope that you loved learning about all of her different Christmas traditions and the songs that she sings with the reindeer up there in the North Pole. And I hope you just enjoyed it and that it was a great day having story time with someone just a little bit different. Today's story time is going to focus on another winter holiday that happens this time of year. We're going to be talking about the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. And we have a couple of different books to read and a new song to sing. And we'll probably just sing the one song that's different from our normal songs. So let's go ahead and do our good morning song. So make sure your hands are all shaken out. We're going to start off with our good morning song. So make them nice and loosey-goosey. Here we go. The more we get together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. The more we read together, the more we read together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your books are my books and my books are your books. The more we read together, the happier we'll be. Good job, good job. So like I said, this morning we are going to be reading a few books about the holiday called Hanukkah. Now, Hanukkah was started many, many years ago in the land of Israel. And it was started after there was a very bad king that I'm going to probably mispronounce his name, but I'm going to try my hardest. His name was Antiochus? I think it's Antiochus. And he was really mean. He didn't like people that were different than him, and he thought that everyone should be exactly the same as him. And so he went to the Jewish people's very special place, and he messed it all up. He took all their special things and he wrecked it. And there was a small group of people called the Maccabees that went through and they sent him away. They fought him and they kicked him out of town. And when they went to start cleaning up, they found out that this very special candle called a menorah, which back then only had 7 candles, now it has 9. Back then, there was one candle that was supposed to be always burning and it had oil in the pot. Well, there was just enough oil left for one day and they were waiting and they were like, do we need to burn it? Do we need to wait? It's going to take 7 days at least for the oil to come, because way back then they didn't have Amazon Prime. They didn't have 2-day shipping. They had to wait for the camel caravan to carry stuff in from out of state. So they're like, you know what, this candle's supposed to be burning. So they lit the candle and started working on cleanup. And the first day the candle burned just like everybody expected. And then the candle didn't go out. The second day went through and the candle didn't go out. And on it went. And by the 8th day, the candle was still burning and the oil came to replenish the candle. And so for the Jewish people, they started celebrating Hanukkah, or the Festival of Lights, to remember the time that the candle stayed burning until more supplies came. And so that's a very simplified version. You can learn more about the history if you do some more research online, or here at the library we have more information on the celebration and the history of Hanukkah. But our first story that we're going to read today is about a family who had their own time when they didn't quite have enough to celebrate Hanukkah. Our first book is Latkes, Good to Eat by Naomi Howland, and this is a Hanukkah story. And I know last week we realized that when I hold the pages up, all the pictures are backwards. That's a setting in Facebook. We haven't figured out how to make it not rotate the pages. We're working on it. We've got some new tech. We're going to be figuring out how to make that work. So here we go. Latkes, latkes, good to eat. And latkes are a potato pancake that are a special treat that they eat during Hanukkah. There we go. Now we're in frame. Once, on the outskirts of a tiny village, a girl named Sadie lived with her 4 little brothers, Herschel, Hillel, Chaim, and the baby Max. Their mama lived there too, but she was away helping Aunt Rose with her new baby. The family was so poor that the 1 coin in Sadie's purse had never another coin to keep it company. Their house was so drafty, the wind whistled through it like a train going to Moscow. They were always hungry. There's the 4 siblings and the kitty cat. This year, the first night of Hanukkah was the coldest night yet, and the snow had fallen deep. Sadie said, "Boys, go out and gather some firewood." "It's too cold outside," said Herschel. "You go." He pushed Hillel to the door. "It's too dark," Hillel explained. "You go," and he pulled Chaim to the door. "The wood's too heavy," Chaim whined. "You go," and he pointed to Herschel. Sadie sighed. "I will get the wood. Watch the baby until I return." There they are, pushing and pulling everybody to the door, and little Max is putting on more clothes. Sadie's boots sank into the new snow. She walked from tree to tree, picking up fallen branches. An hour passed. It got colder and darker, and a bitter wind began to blow. At last, Sadie picked up the wood and turned to go home. Suddenly, a twig snapped. Sadie whirled around to see a bent old woman standing before her. The woman's face was creased and lined like a bit of wrinkled cloth. "Achoo!" the woman sneezed. "Bless you, Tante," Sadie said. She noticed the old woman's shoulders trembling. Her coat was shabby and thin. "Are you cold?" "Oh, I am, dear," said the old woman, shivering. "And I have no more firewood." She blew on her hands to warm them. Sadie didn't hesitate. "Please, take this wood for your fire," she said. She piled all the wood she'd gathered into the old woman's sack. There's Sadie and the old woman. "Thank you," the old woman said. "You are a kind child. Now I have a gift for you." She unhooked a frying pan from her belt. "When you are hungry tonight, put this pan in the stove and say these words: 'Latkes, latkes, good to eat. Cook me up a Hanukkah treat.' When you are not hungry anymore, say, 'A great miracle happened here.'" "Thank you, Tante," Sadie said. "Never forget the words I taught you," warned the old woman. "Keep them a secret. Only you may use my gift." With that, she hobbled off into the forest. Sadie ran home. "Quickly, boys, let's light the menorah. I have a surprise." There's Sadie and Tante, or Auntie. And there's Sadie returning home to her brothers. As soon as they had said the blessing and lit the first candles, Herschel asked, "What's the surprise?" "And where is our wood?" said Hillel. "I met an old woman in the forest," Sadie explained. "I gave her the wood because she was so cold, and she gave me this frying pan." "What? A frying pan?" cried Herschel. "We don't even have a fire." "We don't have any wood," complained Chaim. "Just watch," said Sadie. She put the pan on the cold stove and whispered the old woman's words. "Latkes, latkes, good to eat. Cook me up a Hanukkah treat." At that moment, a fire danced up under the frying pan. Right away, 5 golden latkes sizzled in the oil. The 4 little boys crowded around the stove. "How did you do that?" asked Herschel. "The old woman told me not to tell," answered Sadie. As soon as she put the latkes on their plates, another 5 latkes sputtered in the pan. "Can I try?" asked Helio. "No, let me." Chaim pushed his brothers aside. "No," said Sadie, "only I can use the frying pan." When the plates were heaped high with latkes, Sadie whispered, "A great miracle happened here," and the magic frying pan stopped cooking just like that. They ate and they ate until their stomachs were full. "Look at all the latkes flying through the air." The next night, after Sadie and her brothers lit their menorah, Sadie set the frying pan on the stove. In a hushed voice, she repeated the words, "Latkes, latkes, good to eat. Cook me up a Hanukkah treat." Immediately, a fire glowed under the pan, where 5 delicious latkes were sizzling. When the plates were heaped high, Sadie said softly, "A great miracle happened here." The frying pan stopped cooking just like that. Each night of Hanukkah, the children sat down together to another tasty dinner of potato pancakes. Then, the afternoon of the 8th night, Sadie put on her shawl. "I'm going to find the old woman and invite her to eat latkes with us tonight," she said. "I will cook them when I get back. Take care of the baby and be good boys. And don't touch the frying pan." All together, the brothers nodded their heads and said solemnly, "We promise." There Sadie goes, leaving her brothers behind. Let's not skip a page. Here we go. Only a minute after Sadie had closed the door, Herschel boasted, "I heard the secret words." "You did not," said Helio. "We aren't supposed to touch the frying pan." "I did, though," said Herschel. "We could just eat a few latkes," said Chaim. "Sadie won't know." Max, the baby, said, "Latkes, latkes." The boys looked at Herschel. Herschel looked at the frying pan. "It's easy to use the frying pan," he said. "Just watch." He put the frying pan on the stove and said, "Latkes, latkes, good to eat. Cook me up a Hanukkah treat." The stove lit itself with a bright flame. At once the frying pan was filled with 5 latkes sputtering in oil. When the latkes were hot and golden, Herschel said, "Great! Here a miracle happened." That's not the right words, is it? Uh-oh. The frying pan began cooking another 5 more latkes. With tender centers and crisp, lacy edges. "We have enough, brother," said Helio, but the frying pan kept on cooking. The little boys piled their plates high with latkes. "Here great miracles happened?" tried Herschel. The frying pan cooked up 5 more luscious brown flaked latkes. The 4 brothers ate fast, but the frying pan cooked faster. Soon they filled every dish, all the mixing bowls, and the wash tub with steaming hot latkes. Chaim cried, "Stop, frying pan!" But the frying pan cooked up 5 more latkes, savory and salty. "Happy green miracles happened here," Max yelled, but the frying pan kept cooking. The boys hid latkes in the cupboard and under the bed. They fed latkes to the cat. "Oh my goodness, they have latkes coming out everywhere." Soon, latkes were spilling out the door. The smell of potatoes and onions and oils floated through the village. The shoemaker stopped cobbling to sniff. The fishmonger, holding a fresh carp, paused to breathe in the fragrance. The village gossip even stopped talking long enough to inhale the aroma of Hanukkah cooking. Look at all the busy people who can smell. And there's the house with all the latkes pouring out. Meanwhile, Sadie walked deep into the blue-shadowed forest. Tante, Tante, she called, over and over, but there was no answer. Where could the old woman be? Soon the sun would go down, and Sadie needed to be home by dark to light the menorah. Now, she wasn't sure she even knew the way home. Bony branches scratched the sky. Sadie shivered. Tante, she called again. The wind whistled through the dark trees. It carried a tantalizing aroma. There was a rustle of dry leaves, and the old woman appeared. Before Sadie could say a word, the woman held her hand up for silence and sniffed the air. Sadie, too, breathed deeply. Potatoes, onions, oil. Latkes! Oh, no, she cried. Following her nose, she began to run, with the old woman close behind her. Uh-oh. When Sadie reached the edge of the village, she could not believe her eyes. The house had almost disappeared under a mountain of latkes. She scrambled up the pile of warm latkes and looked in the window. Her brothers were standing at the stove, eating latkes as fast as they could. More latkes sizzled in the frying pan. A great miracle happened here, Sadie shouted, and the frying pan stopped cooking, just like that. Herschel, Hillel, Chaim, and the baby Max promised, "We will never touch the frying pan again." And Sadie put them all to bed with tummy aches. Oh my goodness, look at all those latkes. She can barely fit through the door. There's so many latkes. But what will we do with all these latkes, she wondered. I could carry them away, said the village porter. I could sweep them up, said the broom seller. We could eat them, said someone else. It was Mama, home from helping Aunt Rose. We'll have a Hanukkah feast, Sadie said. Everyone is invited. What a party the village had that night. There was singing and dancing and dreidel playing, and of course, there were latkes. Golden, tongue-burning, hot, tender, yet crisp, lacy, luscious, brown-flecked, savory, salty, scrumptious latkes to eat. And no one in the tiny village was ever hungry on Hanukkah again. Oh, look at that happy crowd. Let's see here. Okay. Now, we're going to learn a song that is based off of what they called the dreidel. So a dreidel is a spinning top that has 4 Hebrew letters beside it. And those letters, I'm not going to try to pronounce them in Hebrew, but they mean, if you're anywhere outside of Israel, they represent the words that translate to a great miracle happened there. And if you're in Israel, it translates to a great miracle happened here. And so it's either a dreidel or a savivon. So it's savivon, spin and turn while the Hanukkah candles burn. What a beautiful holiday. Let's all eat and dance and play. Tell the story, chant the prayers. A great miracle happened there. It's the festival of lights. We'll be spinning for all 8 nights. Okay, let's do it again. Savivon, spin and turn while the Hanukkah candles burn. What a beautiful holiday. Let's all eat and dance and play. Tell the story, chant the prayers. A great miracle happened there. It's the festival of lights. We'll be spinning for all 8 nights. Very good. Let's try it again, but can we do it faster this time to see if we can make our dreidel or our savivon spin faster? Here we go. Savivon, spin and turn while the Hanukkah candles burn. What a beautiful holiday. Let's all eat and dance and play. Tell the story, chant the prayers. A great miracle happened there. It's a miracle. It's the festival of lights. We'll be spinning for all 8 nights. Okay, let's read our next book and then we'll try the song again before we close. a very special book. This is by Michael Rosen and Robert Sabuda, and it's called Hanukkah Lights. And this book doesn't come out very often because it's very delicate. This is a very special pop-up book. And it may take me a little bit to get through each page just to make sure that I don't tear anything. So have a little patience with me, but here we go. This tells the story of the 8 nights of Hanukkah. Tonight, the first night of Hanukkah, 2,000 years after a single lamp burned 8 days in the temple where Jewish freedom was first fought, our candles recall the many places where Jews celebrated this miracle. Can you see the pretty building? All the intricate details, and there's the 2 birds up at the top, and look, there's 2 candles burning. So one candle is the candle that stays lit and lights all the other candles, and then there's the first candle to represent the first night. Okay, let's make sure this closes correctly. Let's go on to the second night. Ooh, this is a different scene. We've got camels in this one. Tonight, the second night of Hanukkah, we can imagine the air above our 3 candles wavering like the heat of the desert, like the hope of a homeland for a wandering people. There you go. Can you see where the candles are in this one? Let's spin and look. Oh, there they are. They're inside the tent, or I think this is also called a yurt. It's a special kind of desert tent that helps keep the sand out. Okay, let's go to night 3. Ooh. Tonight, the third night of Hanukkah, our 4 flames flicker like moonlight on the ocean's waves, where, in the holds of the ship, refugees long for peace like the sight of land. Look, there's fishes, and you see all the different masts of the ship, and look, you can see the 4 candles burning. Okay, let's move on to night 4. Ooh, this one's fancy. Do you see the monkey? Tonight, the 4th night of Hanukkah, as our Shamash journeys to kindle each candle, we think how our faith was born to a continent where Hebrew had never been heard, where menorahs had never been lit. Look at all that detail. There's a monkey and a windmill, and look, as you open and close the book, the windmill turns. And there's palm trees, and look, in the window, there's the candles, there's the menorah. Okay, let's move on to the 5th night. Opens like this. Oh my goodness. Oh. The donkey doesn't want to go up. There we go. Maybe he'll stay. Tonight, the 5th night of Hanukkah, our 6 lights flicker in a dark shuttle where families huddle in the gleam of a future free and safe, reflected in each other's eyes. And look at all pretty towers. And there, at the bottom, in a little bitty house, are the 5 candles. Okay, how does this one open? This one opens like this. Okay. Tonight, the 6th night of Hanukkah, and on the 6th night, right? Yep, okay. Tonight, on the 6th night of Hanukkah, our 7 candles call out like vendors' chants, like parent voices echoing among the tenements where faith burns bright amid a new generation. Here we go. You see the clothes hanging on the line, and the wagons, and all the different goods for sale. Here we go. And where's the candles in this one? There they are, up in the windows. Now tonight is the 6th night of Hanukkah. So tonight, Jewish people around the world are going to light 7 candles on their menorah. Okay. This one opens kind of like this. It kind of rotates. You have to rotate through this one. So we'll start up like this. Tonight, the 7th night of Hanukkah, our 8 flames glimmer like shimmery leaves in an olive grove on a kibbutz where the promise of the promised land is every day renewed. So there's all the olive trees and all the different houses, and there's a tractor and a cow, and there's the little house with the candles burning. Okay, that was the 7th night of Hanukkah. There's only one left. Tonight, the last night of Hanukkah, while Jews everywhere wish each other Happy Hanukkah, our menorah becomes a skyscraper in celebration that rounds the globe as the sun sets. The night stars miraculously will add their lights. There's the skyscrapers, and there's the top of the menorah. The end. Okay. Hope you've enjoyed learning a little bit about this other holiday that happens this time of year. And as I said, let's sing Sevivan one more time, and then that will be all we have for today, friends. I hope that you have a very good week in our run up to Christmas and the holidays and New Year's. So let's sing Sevivan one more time. Sevivan, spin and turn while the Hanukkah candles burn. What a beautiful holiday. Let's all eat and dance and play. Tell the story, chant the prayers. A great miracle happened there. It's the festival of nights. We'll be spinning for all 8 nights. And like I said, tonight is the 6th night of Hanukkah. So there are 2 more nights that, well, technically 3 more nights that everyone that is Jewish will celebrate. And we wish everyone a very happy Hanukkah during these final few nights of Hanukkah and a very happy holidays. But for now, goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, my friends. See you next week. And don't forget, we still have some take and make crafts available at the library. You can pop in and get those on the way out. I hope you all have a very good week, and we'll see you next time. Bye.